Oh yeah, RTK. Getting it done, 22 miles.
Like a bad penny, he keeps showing up.
22 miles into Damascus. Then RTK is a freedom bird into Virginia, whereas I have to come back and pick up from here on TN91 back to the dam, Wilber Dam. So I'll do that on Sunday and then go back up to Damascus and start again. But man, look at this. This is pretty. This is almost like the what you think of as the Highlands, right?
Yeah, yeah. It's like a grassy ball.
Yeah, it's kind of cool.
Really neat.
Anyway, beautiful morning. Good way to start the day. 22 miles. We'll be able to punch that out and
12 hours.
Yep. Go up and get the prime rib we're talking about. All right, here we go. So you'll see this area between TN91 and Damascus, at least this early on, probably about 5 miles in, is really nice trail. Go up to elevation, then you just sort of roller coastering it the rest of the way. The trail's nice and firm, you know, some roots and that sort of thing, but really great for particularly for my knee, not to sort of stress it. As I mentioned, we're doing 22 miles today. The storm has again caused me to do something that, you know, I'm unhappy and fretting about, which is, I had mentioned previously when we were up on that maybe beauty spot or something, or the knob. I don't like to go backwards. Still don't like to go backwards. I think it was the right thing to do when I took that drop at Sam's Gap and gave my knee a chance to rest. And that definitely served me well and probably has continued to. But here I've actually skipped a section between Wilber Dam and TN91 to the south. And now I'm going into Virginia and I'm going to Damascus. Huge milestones. The 4th state, and Damascus just being Damascus, what it means on the trail. Probably, as far as towns, equal to Harper's Ferry, with this sort of iconic milestone that it represents. And mine is a wash. At least I consider it a wash, because when I get there, I haven't earned it. I haven't made it to Damascus. I'm sitting in Damascus, having skipped a section. And so on Sunday, I've gotten a family friend to pick me up in Damascus and take me back to Wilber Dam. And then I will hike north to TN91. And then, I don't know how, but I'll have to find a way to get back to Damascus and then move on. I don't intend on staying in Damascus the second time. I mean, I think like Harper's Ferry, there's not really actually a lot in Damascus. It's more important as a iconic trail milestone, frankly, than a town. There's some hostels in there. You know, I'm not, as you know, a great hostel person. Doesn't seem to be a lot of just motels that, you know, you can get for $40, $50, $60 a night and hunker down, get resupplied and all that. So maybe when I get there I'll learn it's different, but when I did a study on the internet last night, I wasn't able to find anything but the old mill as a sort of a motel. Well, by the time you see this, this is all going to be long past due, and I'm sure you guys will have ideas about what I could have done. And it's still worth making a comment on the channel, because people are going to be coming up behind me, and when they hit the same spot, they may be in the same, question. But look how nice that trail is right there. We sort of talked yesterday about my view about traveling with the contours of the mountain and not resisting them, not fighting them, but working with them. So I have a great appreciation for this path and trail and the design here in Tennessee. Probably kicking it about 3 miles an hour, I would think, if I had to guess. So that 22 miles should be certainly workable, certainly doable. I noticed some of the folks, trying to think of some of the comments. I prefer, because of the limited time that I have when I do have service, I usually just hit the button, the like button, just to let you know that I've read your comment. But it's some ways easier for me to comment or return comment in this forum. So I'm trying to think of some of the things people have asked about. I know that there have been some questions, as I mentioned, about the camping life and what it looks like when we get into a campsite and that sort of thing. I hope that my addition of those pieces onto the end of my videos has helped to touch on that a little bit more. I did do the piece on sort of my favorite pieces of gear. So I know people would ask for sort of a gear review. The only pieces I really didn't comment on that I probably should have would have been my Cascade Mountain Tech hiking poles. They have been flawless and really reliable. No issues with them. The tips are getting worn down some, so I will look to replace those in the, no urgency, but I sort of monitor them just to be sure, and I will look to replace those. But the latching mechanisms, everything else regarding the poles have been great. And from being out here, the abuse that they take. So they've been great. Didn't mention too much about the kilt. The kilt still remains exceptional because it has that elastic and Velcro waistband with no loops, latches, buckles, or anything on it. So the waist belt from the pack rides right across the top of it. The other thing that I notice is, like with RTK and Zia and a lot of the other guys, is the fact that they're having to go buy another pair of pants because they've gone from size 36 waist to 30. One guy went from a 35 waist to a 28. But yeah, it's just people are shedding the pounds, and now they're having to, it looks like they're wearing a burlap sack with a string wrapped around it. The kilt, because it's just big long strips of Velcro, I probably have a 4-inch tail now sticking out on the end of it, but at the end of the day it'll just keep shrinking with me. So it's been going, it's great. Works really well with the rain skirt. So those are the only pieces of gear that I can think of I didn't really hit on. the last time. And I'm on a bit of an ascent here, so let me come back to you. I hope you've enjoyed this little bit of the piece of the trail. See what it looks like this morning, and we'll come back. This must be an old shelter. I don't see it on the registry. Seems obviously pretty old and dated. So that's important stuff to me. The fourth state.
You good?
North Carolina, Tennessee to Virginia state line. Get up there. Come on, RTK. This is the fourth state in your trip to Katahdin. Okay, here we are coming into Damascus. The trail has pretty much been like this the whole way. Of course, this is actually Virginia, as you saw from the sign. So that's exciting. And I'm actively working out the details of my rides so that I can go down to Tennessee 91 to Wilber Dam and get that section done this weekend, so that when I start afresh on Monday, leaving Damascus, I will have the entirety of the Appalachian Trail from Georgia to Damascus done. So we've had a really good hike. Let's see, we did the last 10 miles. Holy mackerel, guys. We left at 13:10. It is now 16:40. And that's how long it took us to do the last 10 miles of this hike. So we were pushing 3 miles an hour. We're solidly 2+ and a little bit more. So anytime you can do 2+ or more over the mean, that's pretty friggin' significant. And this is easy hiking, no doubt. It's more of a roller coaster. But still, it's still hiking. And at the end of the day, it's 22 miles. So pretty jazzed, and all honestly really excited. RTK has gotten his trail legs. He is wicked fast now. Doesn't slow down for the uphills, and that's awesome to see. Saw a very similar thing happen with Zia Fox while we were together. So all of us are actually pretty healthy. Really confident. We've got a lot of miles under our belt at this point, so we've seen a lot. The elevations, both up and down, ascent and descent, don't worry us. We just do what it takes. And so, but for the weather, we understand, according to a southbounder who just passed us, he said new weather forecast. The temperature is supposed to drop more. We're supposed to get more snow, deeper snow in the hills, and starting earlier tonight than the 1800 original time that when we set off. We thought that's what we were working with, was an 1800 start. They said it's supposed to be a little earlier. It does feel like it. You know what snow feels like. It does sort of feel like it. We're getting a little bit of that gray sky. Look at RTK. I swear to God, he's a man. Big man. Appalachian Trails right there. Welcome to Damascus. RTK, an American hero right there. At your service. All right, where do you think we're going? Okay, guys, we'll catch back with you.
It's starting to rain.